All righty. So welcome to our first event, and it is titled Vision Board Making for 2023. I'm so excited about this event. It is something that I live and breathe. I have been doing my vision board on a yearly and bi-yearly basis for the last, I want to say, 5 years consistently. And if anyone knows me, knows I typically have my vision board on the wallpaper of my phone, on the wallpaper of my laptop, printed out in my house, on my iPad. I live by, writing the vision, making it plain so that you can see it clearly even when you're running. So even if you're running throughout your day, even if you have things going on, you can simply look down at it as a reminder of things that you need to continuously strive for, you need to continuously work towards, and to make sure that your year is as productive as it can be. So just really quickly, my name is Jade Morris. For those who don't know me, I currently reside in Charlotte, North Carolina. I currently work in the mortgage industry, commercial lending, but I also do have two businesses that I'm running. One is the Beauty Boutique, which is a hair and makeup artistry business, and the other is a family-owned business where we own, buy real estate investments. In addition to that, I also have recently written a book, and that is where my love for vision board making all started. Working towards my businesses and things that I wanted to achieve in life. My book was one of those things on there, and it came into fruition, and that is geared towards those who want to start or scale their business as an entrepreneur. So for tonight, we are going to be going over three key sections of our presentation. The first one is going to be goal setting. We're going to just talk about getting motivated, staying focused on how to achieve these goals. Then we're going to talk about planning and creating, visualizing your goals and dreams and making them into a reality. And then we're going to do some hands-on work with Canva. And I'm going to give you some step-by-step instructions on how to create your digital vision board. You can literally either keep it digital on your phone, on your laptop, on your iPad, or you can even print it out for yourself in any size. I've even seen people frame them, put them on a cork board, put them on their refrigerator. The sky is the limit. So we're going to get started. I do ask that, you write down any questions that you have, take good notes. When we are going through the presentation, we only have an hour, so I'm going to have a question and answer section at the end. So those who have to drop off, they can, but I'm going to be here even past 7:30 to answer all questions. So please, please, please write down your questions as we're going along. And I promise to give you some time to do that as at the end of the presentation. So let's get started with goal setting, right? So before we can even create a vision board, if it's physical or if it's digitally, we have to start from the beginning, right? We have to have some kind of goals that we are trying to achieve in order to get there. So my main focus when I am sitting down, writing down my goals is reflection. I want to know, where I came from before I know where I'm going. And so I need to reflect on the past year, and you need to reflect on your past year to say, okay, I did this really well. I kind of, slacked on going to the gym, or I kind of slacked on reading 15 minutes every night, but I did really good with eating well and making sure that I'm doing my self-care. You want to make sure you're reflecting, because sometimes we are working on goals that, one, we maybe already achieved, or two, we don't even really want to achieve anymore, right? And so remembering that goal setting for the new year is a great way to stay motivated and focused on what you want to achieve. And starting with reflection is the best way. Think about what went well, what didn't, and this will help you to get a clear picture of what you want to focus on for 2023. So the next thing we're going to talk about is thinking about what you want to achieve. Once you've reflected and you kind of have a understanding of what it is that you still want to do in 2022, make sure your goals are very specific. Sometimes we say, I just want to go to the gym, or I just want to get healthier, or I just want to eat better. Trying to be as specific as possible is going to help you. Now, a vision board is great because you may put a piece of broccoli on your vision board to represent healthy eating. But when you actually sit down and write down what that goal looks like, you want to be as specific as you can, because that's going to make it achievable. So when you say, like for me personally, I have to say, only have one cheat meal a week, because I need to make sure that when I'm congratulating myself or celebrating my success, there's something that was achieved there. And that is something, not eating, McDonald's every week, or making sure that I'm meal prepping, 3 weeks out of the month, or making sure that I'm going to the gym 3 days out of the week. Those are going to be actionable, specific goals that are achievable. Ask yourself, what do I want to accomplish? And then even sometimes take it a step further and ask yourself why. Because we can be as specific as we want when it comes to these things that we want to achieve. But if we don't know the why behind it, sometimes those goals can get lost. And if it's the why is because I want to impress my friends, or because my parents did it and I want to do it too, sometimes those are not the goals that we're actually going to work for, right? So having specific goals that are achievable and understanding the why behind it is really going to help you be successful. Right. And number 3 is pretty self-explanatory, but it's something that a lot of people skip over. And it's just simply writing down your goals. This will help you to stay on track and make sure you're taking necessary steps to reach them. So after you reflected about last year, after you figure out what exactly you want to achieve, if it's achievable, attainable, and why you want to do it, simply sit down and write it out. Like, if you have to get a poster board, or if you have to get a journal, or if you have to get an iPad and write this out, write down exactly what you're thinking. And sometimes in the beginning, it may just seem a little all over the place, but you want to make sure you have something to reference back to. The vision board is amazing because you can see it on the run. You can see it quickly when you open your phone, and it's just a quick reminder. But sometimes you need to actually go back to that list and say, okay, am I actually doing the things that I said I wanted to do in totality? And then once you do that, not only write down the goals, but make a plan of action, right? So my goal is to be healthier. My goal is to eat clean 6 days out of the week with 1 cheat meal. Okay, so what is my plan of action? Okay, so my plan of action is, well, I'm going to be realistic. I don't like to cook. So maybe I need to find a meal service that's going to help me to meal prep. Or maybe I need to get in touch with my significant other and say, hey, you cook this many days, I cook this many days. Or sometimes it's just, I don't have enough healthy foods to grab on the go, and making sure that you have a granola bar in your car and an extra bottle of water. Make some action steps, break your goals down into smaller actionable steps, so you know exactly what you need to do to get there and to achieve them. And I'll say that again, break your goals down into smaller actionable steps, so you know exactly what you need to do to get there. Once you kind of break that down, you write down all of that, you've reflected over the past year, you've thought about what you want to achieve and the why behind it, you write down the goals, the specific goals you want to achieve, and you actually write down some actionable steps. We have to learn how to set deadlines for ourselves, right? Sometimes we're like, we just want to lose 30 pounds, or I just want to, save $1,000, or I want to buy a house, right? Sometimes we actually have to set deadlines for ourselves, because, I remember when I first did my vision board 3 years ago, I put something on there that I wanted to get hired at a local gym. And I never gave myself a deadline. And it literally took me 3 years to get there. And so I was proud of myself once I got there, but when I reflected back on that goal, I realized I wasn't doing everything possible in order to reach that goal. So in the very beginning, when I put that on my board, I would put my resume in and I wouldn't check on it. I wouldn't network. And then the last year, right before I got hired there last year, I was like, no, enough is enough. Like, I need to get hired here. I know I'm just as good as a fitness instructor as these other people here. I literally put my resume in. I was talking to every single instructor that taught there. I would go to classes that I wasn't even interested in. I would stand in the front, learn their choreography. I would be the one that they kind of looked at when they kind of, didn't remember. And so I literally put myself out there to the point that someone was like, why are you not teaching here? I was like, well, let me tell you. And I literally got hired 2 weeks later. So sometimes when we don't put deadlines on ourselves, setting goals is important, but setting deadlines is going to help us keep track of what we're doing, and actually sometimes even give us the push to go above and beyond to reach those goals. And last but not least, you want to track your progress. So you want to measure how you're doing, what you're doing. Have you been, eating clean 6 days out of the 7? Have you been meal prepping? Have you been reading for 15 minutes? No. Okay, I've been off this week. So let me get a tracker for next week to make sure that I'm doing it. Let me set a note for myself, because you want to make sure that, the year is going to go by quickly. Time flies. We get into the notion of just going, but we have to keep track of our progress. So this is the way that we're going to be able to celebrate our success. And celebrating each goal you reach, no matter how big or small, this will help keep you motivated and keep you going for those other huge goals that you may have. And you may feel like, oh, this is a goal, but I don't really know if I'm going to reach it, right? Celebrating as you go along keeps you motivated, reminds you that you're right on track, and reminds you that you can do it, right? Because if we're being honest with ourselves, we can sometimes get in our own head, and we can sometimes be our biggest deterrent when it comes to achieving and making sure that we're staying focused. So just to wrap this section up, before we even physically make any type of vision board, we want to make sure that we're goal setting. We want to reflect on the year past. We want to make sure that we think about the goals that we want to achieve, that they're attainable, and why we even want to do them. We want to physically write them down. After writing them down, we want to make a plan of action, set some deadlines for each goal, and track your progress and celebrate as you go along. Okay, so the next section that we're going to talk about is planning and creating. And I know I'm talking a little fast because I really, really, really want to dive into Canva, and I really want you guys to be able to ask all the questions that you have. But this section is short, and more so examples that I want to talk to you guys about. So I really want you guys to get in the habit of planning and creating a vision board, because it is a great visualization of your goals, right? So you've written down all these goals, you've written down all these action steps. Let's be honest, we're not going to read them every day and make sure, okay, we're going to do this. So this is going to be a great way for you to visualize them and be like, oh yeah, I was supposed to make sure that I read. Oh yeah, I was supposed to make sure that I did some self-care once this month. And it helps you to make your dreams into a reality. So the first step is finding what works for you, right? And so writing in a journal may not be the thing for you. I know a friend of mine, when you walk into her living room, she has these 2 huge poster boards. It goes with the aesthetic of her house, but they're huge, and you just see her plan for the year. And I'm like, girl, I would just like walk by that every day and not even read it, but it works for her, right? And so me, I'm someone that is a lot more aesthetic when it comes to my iPad. Like I want to read it. I want it to look cute on my iPad. And my mom doesn't even understand. She thinks it's absolutely absurd because it just doesn't make sense to her. So you got to make sure you do what works for you. So if it's visually, if it's auditory, sometimes you have to sit down with someone and ask them to be your sounding board, right? Hey, let's talk about my year. I want to, work with someone to help me, if that's a mentor, if that's a therapist, if that's a friend or a family. And it brings me into my next point is take some time to research. And it's not the typical research that I'm talking about. You can do research anywhere. You can do research social media, between your friends and family, mentors, online. Shoot, you can even Google if that works for you. But do some research on what you're going to be putting on your vision board and what you're going to be doing goals wise. If your action steps are attainable, maybe they're too attainable. Maybe, you're not pushing yourself enough towards that goal. Or if you're saying, I want to make sure that I am increasing my knowledge in a certain area in life, if it be for work, if it be for personal, if it be spiritual, do a little research for that so that you are actually getting the most out of this process. And so like for me, everybody knows, my friend Tiana told me all the time, she's like, you are the TikTok queen. You always, and listen, I do a lot of research on TikTok. But it's good information. And sometimes I can use that to help better myself, better my life, and better my goals. And so here are some examples of some things that I've used in the past that help to start to create my vision boards. So this first one, and I will actually have links to all of this stuff for you guys so that you can actually either print them out or use them or whatever at the end. But this first one is something that I created 5 years ago. And so I literally Googled what are the main focuses in a person's life. And these are the 7 things that came up, right? And so I was like, okay, that year, I said, I want to do something new or something bigger in each one of these categories. Did I reach them all? Not necessarily. Did I work towards them all? I definitely did. And so I actually printed this out and I physically wrote down some things that I wanted to do in each category. And I picked my top one. And then I wrote actionable steps, and that worked for me, right? I've given this to some friends and family that I know it's worked for them. But this is just one example. Another example that I've used just recently this year is I think they're called a Venn diagram. And so this helped me because it was short and sweet when it came to the blurbs that I was using, but it really helped me focus on 2 things. This was the main goal that I wanted to achieve here, and that was in my entrepreneurial aspects of my life. And I really wanted to start to make the $10,000 a month, sorry. And this was how I was going to do it, the 2 branches of my businesses, and this is what I was going to sell. And in that process, I then wrote out my actionable steps, which was my marketing plans and how I was going to get there. Now, some people may say this is a lot, but for me, it kind of helped me to map out what I was going to do. And it also helped me to limit how much I said I was going to do, because I knew myself if it was too much work. Sorry to say, if it was too much, I just probably wasn't going to get it all done. So these are 2 different examples of ways that you can start to plan and start to create your vision and your goals and your actionable steps for this year. And like I said, I'll have a link. I'll definitely have a link to this one. I don't know if I have a blank link to this one, but if you leave your email address, like I asked earlier today, it is in the chat. We will make sure that you get this information probably later this week. Okay, so for the part that everybody came for and the fun part, we're going to start to talk about Canva and we're going to get to work, right? So this is where you really want to take notes and really want to make sure that you're following along. Typically, I do these presentations for 3 hours, and it is I do something, then you do something. Because we're on a shorter time frame, I do think that you should take notes, write down your questions, and then try to do this later on your free time. We are recording this presentation, so it will be on our website and you will be able to go back and listen to it, and will also be on YouTube, so you will also get that information if you need to go back and you have any questions. So let's talk about Canva. Canva is my go-to for everything digital. I love Photoshop, but Canva is it's just made so easy. And so here is a example. Here's 2 examples, one here, one here. This is an example of a vision board that I created my first time. So this was 5 years ago. I created this vision board, or no, maybe 4 years ago. I created this vision board, and it was just pictures of things that I wanted to do. And so I can tell you, I wanted to go do makeup at Carnival. I wanted to get hired at the gym. I wanted to make sure that I was reading my Bible and that I read the whole Bible in 1 year, which I did accomplish. I wanted to plan and execute a Makeup and Mimosas event. I was applying to get into grad school, and I wanted to start an e-com business and vending machine business. Another one that I did was over here. This was my most recent one. This was last year, no, 2 years ago, sorry. 2 years ago, oh no, sorry, this was last year. I apologize. And so this was just talking about my ebook that I wrote, talking about a podcast that I came out with, Articulate Homegirls, my lash business, family, buying homes, and so many other things. And so in the middle here, I also put an example of another vision board that I've seen before. And this is for people that maybe pictures just don't do it for you, right? And so this can also be something you can use words. You'll see that I have words under some of this stuff just to remind me exactly what it was that I was using that picture for. And so it's all about your aesthetic. This one, I wanted to keep it very clean. I only use Black pictures with a cute background. This one, I kept it colorful. This one is all words. So it all depends on what you want and what you are going for, right? So we're going to jump in now. And so I am going to share a different screen and show how we get started. So grab those notebooks, grab those pens. I will give you a brief second to grab that stuff and get ready. And then we'll go through Canva, and then we'll go to our question and answer section. All right, so the first step that I do is I always go to Google, right? So in front of you, you have what your goals are and some actionable steps. And so now you should have a bit of an idea of what exactly you want to be doing and putting on your vision board. So the reason why I go to Google, this is going to be where you're going to grab any of the specific logos or specific pictures that you want. So for example, a few years ago, I wanted to work at Fitness Connection, and I wanted the logo on my vision board. So I would go to images, actually, and one of the main things you want to do is add this word transparent, because if you don't pay for the premium of Canva, you are unable to remove backgrounds, which is not a big deal. I didn't pay for the premium Canva for a long time until I was working with my businesses, right? So what you're going to want to do is you want to click on the picture, and if you can see in the background, there's these white and gray boxes. That's going to be a good indication that this picture does not have a white background. And the main reason for that is just for aesthetic purposes. You want to kind of keep it as clean as possible, especially if you're going to have a background color, or you're going to choose the color of your liking. And all you have to do is right click it, save image as.
Jade, will you
Yes.
show your other screen, please?
Which screen? I'm sorry.
The Canva one that you're walking through.
Oh, I'm not walking through Canva yet. Sorry.
Okay, we can't. Okay.
Can you see my Google screen?
No.
Can you now?
We see a fitness connection, and now we can see.
Okay. Okay, perfect. So I will take it a step back. Okay, so like I said, I start on Google. So for this one, I'm gonna type in fitness connection logo. I'm gonna add the word transparent to it and go to images. I'm just gonna click on any one of these, and then this is what I was talking about. Sorry about that, guys. The gray and white background here, back here, is the good indication that it is transparent and there's no background. So you're just gonna right click it, save image as, and then I'm gonna save it to my downloads, and I'm gonna just push save, and it's right there for you. Right. So you're going to collect all the logos or all the specific images that you want, that you may not get in Canva. And then you'll learn by the end of this what exactly you'll be able to get from Canva and what you won't. So then I don't really need any more logos. But I'm going to now go to Canva, canva.com. And once you log in, I'm already logged in, but once you log in, this is the main screen, their home screen that you're going to find. And so at this point, you're going to want to decide what is your main point of where you want your vision board. Do you want it on your phone? Do you want it printed out on a piece of paper? Do you want it printed out on a poster board? Because you're going to want to create it there. And then you can recreate it in another format very, very easily, but we want to start with a focus point. So I'm just going to type in phone wall paper. And so right here, once you start typing, you'll see something like this, and this is going to give you the dimensions of a typical phone wallpaper. You're going to click on there, and you'll have all of these different templates that you can choose from. I typically like to go with create a blank phone wallpaper, or create something blank, because that is going to give you literally a white box that you can start from start to finish and do your own thing. And later on, if you still wanted to find some other templates, you can on this left-hand side over here. But this is where we're going to start for today, right? So the first thing we're going to do is start with our backdrop. So we're going to want to figure out what background we want. So all the way on the left, all the way at the bottom, it's labeled backgrounds. And you can literally find so many different patterns, gradients, abstract, food, textures, flowers, the list goes on and on. But typically I just scroll all the way down to the bottom until I see all results. And I scroll until something just sticks out to me, right? So I'm gonna go, and I am a pink person, so I'm gonna stay away from that. Try something new. Let's try this one. So we're gonna go with these clouds. cute purple to pink. I guess I still chose pink, right, guys? Sorry about that. But we have our background, right? Okay, so now we're gonna start to layer on top of it. Depends on how you like it, but I'm gonna go through every step and you can leave out or add in what you want. Typically I tell my clients to add some words. So if you go to the left, all the way on the side, there is a text section and it comes with pre-created text boxes, or you can just create your own by clicking one of these three up here. Typically, I like to keep it quick and I will create something based on their already created stuff. And this one kind of looks like it goes with my color scheme. Maybe not. I'm gonna delete that, sorry. Let's see. This is bold. Let's try this one. So I'm gonna start with 2023, and I'm gonna keep it simple, and I'm just gonna write goals. And then if it's ever too big, I'm just gonna highlight it and take it down in size until it fits. And the more you play around with it, the better you'll get with it, but you could always do it this way to make it bigger or smaller, etc. Now we want to start to add our pictures, right? So down here, a lot of my downloads will pop up, but you can always come to your folder, and mine was in downloads, and I'm literally gonna drag and drop, oops, don't wanna drag everything, drag and drop into Canva, and it's gonna do its own thing. It's gonna put the picture where it needs to go. And it doesn't have any words under it, but uploads is where you're gonna find all of your pictures that you've uploaded. And so you'll see all pictures that you've uploaded, and you obviously see I use Canva a whole lot, so I have a ton of pictures in here. And so I'm gonna click on my logo, and as you can see, and this is why I wanted to make sure my logo was transparent. I'm actually gonna make this bigger. My logo was transparent, so now it kind of just flows with my background, right? So put in the chat some of the goals that you have for this year coming up. Just one or two goals that you have for the year, and we're gonna start to place them on our Canva board together. Don't be shy. And once I start to see those goals, okay, good, paying off my car. So one of the first things that I would do for this one, I would go to Elements. So Elements is where you're going to be able to find different graphics, stickers, different things like that. Another place you want to go to is Photos. So these are actual live photos that people have taken and placed in here for you to use that are free to you, right? I like Elements because they're more like clip arts, and they're more general. So someone wants to pay off their car. I like to be as specific as possible. So let's see what they have here. Pay off their car. If I'm not necessarily seeing anything, well, we don't want that. Anything specific, I might even create something. So when I say create something, I might, take this car here and then type in money up here. Let's see. The dollar sign. And then put the dollar sign in there. that was just something quick. I know it's not necessarily the best, but that's what I mean by create something. So this is the reminder, I'm not just going to buy a new car, I'm actually going to pay off this car, right? Someone we have buy their first home, love that. So you can just type home, or you can type buy home. And this is cool. They have something here that looks like you are buying a home. See? So we have buying a home, getting some property. I don't know if it's multiple property, but I know for me, when I wanted multiple properties, I didn't just put one house, I put multiple houses. I was like, God, I'm not going to limit you. So you may even want to put something like this, and you start out small and work your way up. So I'm hoping for big and better for you when you are investing in your properties and looking for those. Any other goals out there that you guys are going to achieve, not even want to achieve, that you're going to achieve this year? We're gonna talk about some pictures next. Well, one of my goals is I want to stay consistent with working out. So instead of going to elements this time and going to graphics like we've been doing here, I'm actually going to go to pictures, right? And so here I'm going to type in workout. And so I'm going to find a picture that is going to represent the type of working that I want to do. So if it was something like yoga or something, I might pick this picture up here. If it's running outside, which is not for me, I might pick this picture here. If it was heavy weightlifting, I might pick this picture here. But really, I think I want to find something. Let's see. Oh, that's a good one. Let's see. I really like this one. And the way you can, so this one, I just want her in the picture. So I'm going to crop it just a little bit here. And this one obviously has a background, but that's okay. We can always use pictures with backgrounds. That's fine. But I want to, I want to work out, and I want a more human, realistic picture that's going to help me to stay motivated. So I chose this one here. I also see in the chat, serving in ministry. Let's see. Try to. This is a nice picture. So serving in ministry, serving at church. Here's another picture. We're going to just crop it a little bit, and we're going to use this one. So you start to see that we could use a mixture of pictures, of clip arts, of words. And the last thing that I like to kind of put and give the option of putting on here is some affirmations. So give me some words or some things that you want to accomplish. If it's like self-care, if it's power, if it's passion, drop some things in the chat that you really want to work on this year, in regards to affirmations for yourselves, or maybe your power words that you're going to stick to really pursuing this year when it comes to your goals. Balance, purpose. I like that. Okay, so we are going to go back to text, and we are going to start to add some words here. So we got our first one, and that is balance. And we are just going to scale it down here. And it can be overlapping anything. So we got balance. We have a lot. Let's see. We have purpose. We have confidence. And as you see, the more we kind of add in, we're overlapping, it's kind of making it look a lot more cool, right? And so I'm going to grab a couple more. We got consistency. That is a good one. We have to be consistent this year when it comes to our goals, when it comes to the things that we're going to do. And let's try to get more. Did we already do discipline? All right, we'll go with discipline. Oops. All righty, I think we got some good words on here. So right now, when it comes to the aesthetic of our vision board, it's kind of all over the place. One may think different colors, different fonts. Listen, it's all about what you want and what you like. If you wanted to go with something a lot different when it comes to colors wise, I'm going to show you really quickly how to do that. So say this is your vision board and you say, okay, I like how the fonts are all different, but I want all the colors to be the same. All you have to do is click on it. At the very top, there is a text color editor, and you can literally choose any color you want, right? Or you, with the help of Canva, you can choose a color from a specific picture. And so the cool thing is it's going to have all the pictures that you put in. So the background picture, my logo, the two pictures that we use. And typically people are going to want to kind of stick to these colors that are in the background, or maybe you just want everything to be black, right? And you want to stick with that. I am going to just keep everything kind of how it is. But you could always change the colors. You can always change even the colors of most of the clip art. So if you wanted to change this to a color in the background, you wanted to make it purple, or you wanted to make it red based on the logo, you wanted to keep it black, you can do just that. At this point, you are pretty much done with your vision board. You are going to be able to download this, print it out, save it wherever you need to save it. So before we run out of time, what you would do is at this very top here where it says share, you're going to want to click there, click download, and you're going to want to save it as a PNG. That is going to be your best way of saving it, to put it on your phone, to put it on your laptop, iPad, print it out anywhere you want. You just download it, and then you will have that picture and that accessible to you. I am showing you how to use Canva on your computer, but there is Canva, an app on your phone. It looks a little different, but it still has all the same elements. and you can download it right to your phone. It will go straight to your pictures. So this is our vision board for the year, guys. Just give yourselves a round of applause. We did good. We did good. And so I'm really excited to see all of your vision boards. I'm really excited to see what you guys come up with going through the 3 steps that we talked about today. And so I know that it was kind of quick when it came to what we talked about, but I did want to save some time and give us the chance and the opportunity to talk and ask any questions that we have. And so can you guys just confirm that you can see the presentation again, the 2 vision boards and the cork board in the middle? Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Okay, so we are going to go through some answers, question and answers, but before we do, I just want to thank you all for coming, because I know some of you are going to have to drop off. So to get in touch with our organizations, the Pillars of Hope Incorporated, I did put the email address down there and our website. Again, if you came on a little later, we do ask for attendance purposes. We do ask for attendance purposes that you will click on the link that I just put into the chat, and you leave your email address there so that we can get in touch with you and give you the links for some of the things that we talked about tonight. And we can also remind you of our upcoming events. And we will also ask that once you have completed your vision boards, that you will share them on social media, tag us, the Pillars of Hope. You can tag me. I would love to see them. And we would love to be able to show off all of your work. So now you feel free, come off of mute, write your questions in the chat, whichever you prefer. I would love to answer any questions that you have for the remaining of the time that we have here today.
Hey Jade, it's T.
Hi, Tiana.
Hey, so I'm actually here doing it with you on Canva on the computer. And I have graphics to the left like you had, and I'm clicking them and I'm putting them on the board, but they're not coming up white like it's showing me. It's coming up black on top of a black background. So I'm trying to figure out, why is the graphics white? And then when I put it on my board, it's black.
Yeah, great question. So they're all gonna do that, right? And so
okay.
what you're gonna have to do is because Canva makes their section over there where they have all the elements, uploads text black, they can't put black elements on top of a black screen. So they make them white. So all you have to do is click it on your board, and at the top, right, you'll see a black box. Do you see a black box next to the word edit image?
Black box. Oh, edit image, yeah, at the top. Yeah, I see that.
So if you click that black box, the small square, that's where you're going to be able to edit your color of any of your clip arts. And you would just click the plus sign. And
let me see.
I think white is like hashtag and 6 Fs, like F, 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 F.
Oh, okay. Let me try that one too. Let me see. Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions, comments? I do thank you all for joining. I hope you guys enjoyed and had a good time. If there are no other questions, please just don't forget to sign in. I'm going to put it in the chat one last time. On our website, you can leave your email address in the sign up section at the lower part of that page. We would love to stay connected with you, and we would love to have your contact information to be able to get you the information that we've talked about today. And once the recording is up and ready to go, we would love to be able to share that with you. Couple minutes left for any other questions or comments or anything like that.
Hi, Jade.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. So I was driving in at the beginning of the Zoom. So
Yeah.
I was trying to catch it, but I was hitting some dead spots. I know it's a lot of information, but just the beginning part about goal setting and reflecting and action steps, kind of like, can you summarize some of that for me a little bit?
Yeah, definitely. So I'll actually go back for you really quickly. And so really, to summarize this, before we even create a vision board, you want to set your goals. You want to reflect on your previous year to see what you did well, what you didn't do so well, what we could still work on. We want to think about what we actually want to achieve, making sure it's not just because our parents did it or because our spouse is telling us to. We want to make sure we know the why of what we're going to achieve and that it's attainable, right? It's something that we can actually work towards. Once we know that, we're going to actually physically write it down, because sometimes we just keep it in our heads and then we're like, man, a month ago, I'm like, what was that we were, write it down, make sure that we have it somewhere that we can refer back to. And then once we have our goals set, we want to make an actual plan of action when it comes to each of those goals. We want to break down our goals. So for example, one of my goals was to eat healthier, right? And that could be an array of things, but I'm going to say my actionable steps is that I'm going to only eat a cheat meal once a week, and I'm going to meal prep 6 days out of the week. And so those are action steps that I can take. And once I have my action steps, I'm going to actually set deadlines. And this is important because you want to make sure not only you can keep track of what you're doing, but that you can also put a little fire under your butt, right? To make sure that you're doing it and you're working towards it. And last but not least, you want to make sure that you're tracking your progress as you go along and you're celebrating your successes. No matter how big or how small they are, that's what's going to keep you motivated, remind you that you're on track, that you can do it, and that your goals are not just being stagnant. So I hope that was a good kind of wrap up for you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Awesome presentation.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes, Jade, thank you so much. I want to say, will you go back to the 2 diagrams that you had? And if you don't mind putting those links in the chat.
Yes, so this diagram, this one here or this one?
Both, yeah, starting with that one and then going to the second one.
Yeah, so let me see. I definitely have the link for this one here that you see in front of you. This is the one that I printed out. And I was able to kind of start jotting down some goals. I literally was like writing 5 things for each one, and obviously that's not attainable, but it helped me brainstorm, right? So I can definitely send out this link in the chat. And then the other one, I just have to find it. And if you guys leave your email, I will definitely make sure that you guys can get that.
Jade, are you okay with me dropping a picture of the second one? I was taking screenshots because it's such a good presentation.
Yeah, not a problem.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All righty, well, if there's no other questions, we are going to wrap up since it is 7:31. I don't want to hold you guys any longer than we have to. But thank you guys again so much for coming out. I really do appreciate it. We really do appreciate it. I hope you learned something. I hope you could take something away. And please feel free to reach out to any one of us on the board if you have any questions, concerns, or anything like that. We are here to work with you, work for you, and be a community for you. So I wish you all the best. Good luck in 2023. And make sure that you're sharing those vision boards with us. You guys all have a great night.